Jackie Roby is the owner of Inspired Journey Consulting, and her topic is around childhood trauma, body image, and self-acceptance. What happens when you get confusing messages about your body, your family, and your experiences? How do you start to unravel those and create new stories? All right, now let's welcome Jackie Roby to the stage. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Diane. When I was 26, my grandfather brought me to his office. He said he had something to show me. It was a picture of me set as his desktop background. I didn't even know he had that photo. Then he told this story slowly, or maybe it moved in slow motion. I was 4 years old, fast asleep, and wearing these gray cotton panties. Strange. Then he uttered the words that shattered the facade of my Leave It to Beaver life. He said, "It took everything in me not to take those panties off of you." It was all more starting to make sense to me now. I remember another time that I was alone with him. He showed me that he carried a school photo of me in his wallet. It was from 6th grade. Since I was 21, it seemed pretty strange, but I shrugged it off. Then he rubbed my hand and put my finger in his mouth. I froze, trying to figure out how to leave. Immediately after, I tried to tell my parents. But had he been drinking, Jackie? I could hear them blaming me with this question. Then we saw him for dinner that night, and they acted like nothing happened. I should have known better. Family business stays in the family. Do you see what happened there? The molesting relative isn't the only abuser. I don't know which is more painful. This happens often, too often. The blame and manipulation, also referred to as gaslighting, can come at us from all angles. All these years later, I'm still trying to unravel the mess that was my picture-perfect family. My sisters and I were polite, straight-A students. My parents were kind, funny, and raising us right. There was no room for sexual trauma in this story. The first time I remember feeling overweight was at 5 years old. I was in the back seat being driven to school and noticed how big my thighs were, how they stretched wider when I was sitting. From then on, I made a conscious effort to elevate them in a certain position so that they look smaller. The next big moment was trying on a dress for my kindergarten graduation. I loved this dress. It was light blue with puffy sleeves and made for twirling. But the short sleeves were elastic and were tight on my arms. They hurt. I felt shame, but decided to take the discomfort. I did wonder why my friends didn't have those painful marks around their arms, though. Here I was at this super young age, finding reasons to hate myself and my body. I didn't realize it then, but my grandfather had stolen the comfort that I had in my own skin. All I could think was, something must be wrong with me. It has to be me. The abuse stripped me of my confidence and self-worth. I found myself accepting scraps of affection, thinking it was all that I deserved. As a victim, I was contributing to my own abuse. This led me straight into the arms of an emotionally destructive man. My very first serious relationship was with someone who threatened to kill me if I ever cheated on him. And I was so deep into my self-loathing that I thought, this is what love looks like. This man chose me, and I couldn't understand why. I was disgusting. Red flags are a term I now know inside and out. They were introduced to me at my internship at Child Rescue Foundation. The founder, Joanne Capel, taught me all about them so that I wouldn't find myself dating an abuser again. Here I learned about boundaries and how setting them creates healthy relationships. I'm a Latina, the youngest of 3. I shared a room with my sisters until I was 15. What were boundaries? Never heard of them. The National Domestic Violence Hotline provides examples of red flags to look for. These are the ones that resonate with me. Preventing you from making your own decisions, blaming you for the abuse, acting like it's not really happening. Repressing trauma, abuse, and hurt works until it doesn't. All of those years of not setting boundaries caused so much pain that came rushing to the surface. I thought the lesson was learned with the abusive boyfriend. And I'm an adult now, safe from the dangers of a pedophile. I didn't realize abuse made so many costume changes. Emotional abuse is keenly disguised. Sometimes it's cloaked in a fancy dress. Other times it's wearing a business suit. The most deceptive part of the ensemble is the smile, an illusion of care. Falling apart gave me the chance to put myself back together stronger. I had to face my internal demons so that I could effectively deal with the world. I started to understand that my own body shaming was a result of my trauma. To be fair, I still don't know if I was trying to hide, protect myself, please other people, or feed my emotions. Maybe all of the above. I do know my body never felt good enough, whatever that means. No matter the size or fashion choice, all I felt was shame and self-doubt. Red flags continue to guide me. To clear my head, I journal and meditate. This helps me decide whether I need to set a boundary and what that looks like. So many times, the pain is traced back to my grandfather and how the shame and silence were built by design. It's because of social media influencers like Body Pause Panda and activist movements like I Weigh that I started to feel understood. What do you mean my body's shape, its size, its mere presence isn't something to be ashamed of? These thighs are perfect the way they are? I don't have to shrink myself to take up less space? I was so used to hating my body that it was easy to jump on the gotta lose weight bandwagon. Makes sense. Fed my own negative thinking. Honestly, I didn't know there was any other way. Now I set my own clear boundaries. My origin family is very affectionate. When the abuse from my grandfather resurfaced, I set a boundary on how I was touched by everyone. No kisses. That made me feel safe and respected. I'm naturally social and found myself in financial despair a decade or so ago. Rather than saying yes to everything and everyone, I had to learn how to say no. Or, can we go for coffee instead of lunch? My husband, David, is the most wonderful man in the world. He's brilliant, loves to share ideas, and lifts me up like a goddess. Sometimes he gets really excited to talk. I have to set boundaries there too. because as much as I worship him right back, my voice matters, and I need him to listen. In my professional life, I set boundaries to keep me safe. I've learned that staying out for those extra drinks won't make or break my success. And I value my sleep. I proactively set these boundaries to protect my physical and mental health. My career path led me to wellness and healing travel. I didn't know this beautiful part of the travel industry existed, and I had worked in this space for 17 years. As I learned more and experienced immersive wellness resorts, spent time with healers, a new journey unfolded. You see, my reality included 14 years of therapy, an ocean of tears, and too much abuse. If I had access to wellness and healing travel earlier on, perhaps the road wouldn't have been as difficult. I knew I had to use my voice to help others and hopefully make their internal explorations a bit easier. Do I love myself and my body? I'm pretty fabulous. Admittedly, I spend time in the mirror expressing gratitude for these arms that still don't look like everyone else's. And I have to set boundaries for my inner abuser to speak kindly to me. One affirmation I repeat often is I'm worthy of unconditional love. Like I said, this is a journey. Today, I own my body, my boundaries, my future. I am no longer silent. Thank you.
Jackie, that was so moving. Thank you so much.